new edition of Warweek Radio. Guys, before we introduce our star of the program, we do have to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by FightSucker.com and Box.Buzz. Guys, for all the latest boxing news, please tap into Box.Buzz on the internet, B-U-Z-Z. And in case you're listening to this program on the Warweek Radio Network YouTube page, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But guys, this would not be an episode of Warweek Radio without the counsel of our very good friend, 3-decade fight trainer and master strategist, the one and only Mr. James Gogue. James, how the heck are you, brother?
Hey, Joe. I'm doing good.
Well, I tell you what, man. Congratulations goes out to the new undisputed unified lightweight champion, Teofimo Lopez, overcoming the odds. Now, it's funny. The week leading up to the fight, we saw a ton of money being placed on Vasyl Lomachenko, the incumbent ring-recognized lightweight champion, and odds went as high as 5.5 to 1 in favor of the Ukraine native. Teofimo Lopez, though, is very confident going into it, almost to the point where he seemed somewhat delusional. But apparently, well, he and his father knew something. Gogue, your thoughts on the unanimous decision victory of Teofimo Lopez?
You know, Joe, it surprised me, not of what Teofimo did. Well, you know, his jab. You know, I didn't think he would have an effective jab like he did last night, okay? The other parts of his game, like we talked about on the show last week, you know, the sharp counters, the body punching, explosive punching power and all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was all mapped out in your keys to victory. Yeah.
Yeah, but the jab, I didn't have that as one of my something that he would execute on an effective basis, you know, consistently like he did last night. But not what Lopez did, but Lomachenkos. Jesus, man. You know what, Joe? He left his fucking balls in the dressing room, and Eagles went to go get him, and came back and gave them to him in the 6th round. Then he decided to fight. Oh man! After the 3rd round, Joe, I was saying to myself, okay, ladies, okay, you know, I was saying to myself, okay, you know, I was saying on Twitter, okay, ladies, it's, you know, this is a boxing match, not a women's tennis match, okay? It's time to fight and throw some punches. Jesus, man. You know, this was a highly publicized hype fight. A lot of buzz was created. And, you know, the first 6 rounds was just, oh, God, man. That's how you turn fans off in boxing, okay? You pop up a fight. This is going to be the next great this and that, da. And all of a sudden, it, you know, stinks out the joint when both, not Lopez, but Lomachenko didn't want to fight, move around, man. You know what I mean? He was just still, he felt that power early on, and that kind of like changes him and his dad's mind about attacking this guy early on, and, you know, it waited for him to, you know, to take a lot of that steam and pop off his punches and let him wear down a little and take him into the back half of the fight. But Joe, in big fights like that, you can't afford to give that many rounds. Okay, but you know what? If fans out there, if you haven't heard, you know, if you never boxed before, if you never sparred or fought a guy that is long and that's, you know, has more range and length than you, fast and that's explosive, that can hit, and that can counter real good, that you know, that makes you very, very tentative and wanting to close that distance on him, because you don't want to get caught with that incoming, you know, trying to close that distance. But you know, Lomachenko, like in our Keys to Victory last week, I thought he had all the tools and the IQ to execute his game plan in closing the distance with feint, head and upper body movement, in and out movement to offset that timing and to offset Lopez's timing and rhythm to counterpunch effectively. But he didn't execute none of that. He was too damn much in a defensive shell for the first 6 rounds. He didn't want to take no chances. Like I said, he left his balls in the dressing room, okay? And Eagles had to go get him, and he finally gave them to him in after the 6th round. Then he started to get going, okay? Then we got to fight, but he should have been doing that in the first part of the fight from the 3rd round on, and it would have made the fight a lot closer.
Indeed. So, and you've been in the corner of some really, frustrating fights like that as well. Gogue, how difficult is it to overcome a very confident opponent when you've given him that, uber confidence going into the back half of the fight?
Oh, shit. First few rounds, you could see he was tentative. They want to fight. And right then and there, man, I'm pretty sure Lopez is smart enough and the dad is smart enough to figure that out. Like, oh, man, this guy's scared him. This guy's scared of me. He don't want none of me. He's scared of my power. You know what I mean? And when you got a guy like that, when you're in a fight like that, the guy that has all the advantages like Lopez did, about with the punching power, the length, the counter punching, the speed and all that, man, that's just going to right then and there, give you that, what do you call it, Joe, that uber confidence you need, man, going forward. But it's not, like I said, it's what Lopez did and it's what Lomachenko didn't do. Okay, he didn't execute his game plan. Bottom line, Joe, Lopez executed his game plan better than Lomachenko did his.
Okay, well, very good. Let's talk about now, examine what Teofimo Lopez, how he was able, what he did successfully to neutralize the strengths of Vasyl Lomachenko.
Oh, three things. That jab, okay? That long, fast, stingy jab. Next thing he did, them sharp counter punchers, okay? Every time Lomachenko tried to get off, he countered real quick with that uppercut, with the left hook or whatever. Whatever he threw, Lopez had a quick counter for it. And that's how you break a guy's momentum, Joe. Okay, that's how you keep a guy from getting in momentum with them quick counters. And if you got some power behind it, that's even better because it even, what do you call it, Joe? It even dissuades you from trying to, launch your attack. And the third thing, Joe, the third and fourth thing, body punching. He was digging those body shots. When he started digging them body shots, I could see Lomachenko starting like, okay, yeah, it took a lot of steam out of him. And, of course, the punching power. Them four things, Joe. His punching power, body shots, them sharp counters, and that jab. Yeah. It kept Lomachenko, what do you call it, very tentative the first 6 rounds. Okay. Then he grew some balls and started, pressing an attack, after that. Then he started winning some rounds, but it was too late after that. But like I said, it was those four things I saw, Joe, that basically won him the fight.
Indeed. Let me ask you something, Gogue, and this is something that Teofimo Lopez touched on in the post-fight press conference. He stated that, we kind of figured that he was going to come out slow because of the 14 months outside of the ring, but I had a long layoff, so we didn't know how that would play out, but we had a feeling that he was going to start very tentatively. And so, we just ended up pressuring him, letting him feel my power, and feinting him a lot. Now, did you expect to see Lomachenko freeze and fall for all the feints that Lopez was doing so successfully with his feet, his upper body, his head, his jab? I mean, everything seemed to be working in his favor in the first half of the fight.
Of course, when you hit a guy with some good shots and they have some pop and power behind it and it gets your attention, that's when the feints start working the best. W.A.W, the former WBA world champion, told me that way back then when I was a young trainer coming up. When I used to work with him in my earlier days as a trainer, assistant coach, and I really didn't train him. He taught me. You know what I mean? He taught me basically. Effectiveness of feint, how important they are. You don't see that nowadays. A lot of guys don't know how to feint. They're too stupid. I mean, they're too dumb. They rather brawl and make a fight tougher than make it easier. Okay. By using good boxing skills and using your feints, okay? All right? And a feint is a valuable tool if you know how to use it effectively. And the feints work best, like W.A.W told me back in the days, after he tagged somebody good with a hard shot, okay? He hit somebody good with a hard shot, it gets their attention. Then once you start feinting them, you know what I mean? It starts freezing and gets them more hesitant. And once you get a fighter like that, Joe, you get them hesitant, you get them out of sync, you get them off rhythm, it takes them off their game plan. Mentally, they're, Joe? They're frozen. They can't get in the groove. And the feint is so valuable, okay? Guys like Ward, Floyd Mayweather understand that. Crawford, okay? Guys that know how to control distance very well understand that, how valuable a feint is in setting up your attack and keeping your opponent off balance, keeping him out of sync, keeping him out of rhythm. It's only effective when you can get that guy's attention by nailing him with some good shots like Loretto told me. And Loretto was a good, he was 32-1 when he retired, 28 knockouts. He had good pop on his punches, and he had a great jab. You know what I mean? And once he started nailing you with those jabs, them feints started coming. Then them combinations would come behind them. Then them feints started working better. Okay, and that's what happened with Lopez, man. When he started doing all that, yeah, you could see what's his name becoming very hesitant, very non-Vasyl Lomachenko, not getting into groove, not wanting to execute his vaunted press attack, closing the distance, working angles, volumes of punches, the combinations to the body, head, body, you know what I mean? Work, pivoting around you, stuff like that, Joe. He couldn't, Lopez didn't let him execute his game plan because of those factors. But those feints, oh yeah, you could see Lopez, boy. I mean, you could see Lomachenko. He was binding. He was going, because he was aware of Lopez's power that he can get, that he can hurt him at any time.
It's funny, when asked what he thought the biggest factor in, creating the more tentative version of Vasyl Lomachenko, Tim Bradley said it was the speed of Teofimo Lopez that genuinely shocked Vasyl Lomachenko. At least that was his perception of it. Would you agree with that?
Without power behind that speed, you wouldn't have got Lomachenko's attention, okay? All right? I know a lot of guys with speed, man, but if they ain't got that pop to get your attention, a guy like Lomachenko, look at Gary Russell. Gary Russell had a lot of speed, but he didn't have that pop to get his attention like Lopez did. Okay, that speed, yeah. Don't you think Lomachenko's seen a lot of guys with speed through his whole career, amateur or pro? Okay,
Indeed.
He's got good reflexes. He's got a good set of eyes where he can adjust an opponent's, hand speed. Okay, where he can see those punches coming and he can start slipping them, moving in and out of range, blocking those punches. Okay. But how about when a guy has power behind him? Okay, that's the tension getter, Joe. That's the tension getter, okay? That's the intimidating factor right there. And speed is good, but without pop behind that speed, you're not going to get a guy's attention. And in the pro boxing at the elite level, you better have some of that pop behind your punches, okay? Or you're not going to get the guy's attention.
Indeed. So we look at the judges' scorecards, and it was a unanimous decision.
Jesus.
I'm going to read them to you, Gogue.
C.J. Ross had it, 119, 111?
C.J. Ross, I love it. No, Tim Cheatham scored it 8-4 in favor of Lopez, 116-112. Steve Weisfeld scored the bout 9-3, 117-111. And Julie Letterman scored the bout 11-1 in favor of Lopez, 119-109. Wow. Gogue, how did you score the fight? Because to be honest with you, I think we can officially say that Ward and Bradley are a couple of homers. And, hey, man, they made the fight seem a lot more, interesting than it actually was. Andre Ward had the fight scored a draw after the 12-round, the final bell sounded. So, Gogue, we're going to ask you, how did you score the fight?
8-4. That was fair. Okay, he won 4 rounds. Lopez won 8 rounds. The last round going in, they said they were talking. They're trying to make it. You know what it is, Joe? It's that producer whispering in the air. Hey, man, make the fight seem closer than it is to get the fans excited. Get it? Okay, after the 11th round was done, the producer, started whispering in their ear, okay, tell the fans it's the fight's even. Whoever wins this fight's going to win the fight. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I'm not that dumb, okay? I'm not that fucking dumb, man, okay? But anyway, that's what they were probably telling them, man, just to get that fan. It's just like, oh, my God, this is an even fight. Whoever wins this round's going to wins this round's going to win the fight and be the undisputed lightweight champion of the world and all that bullshit. Oh man! After the ninth round, I tweeted something. Lopez got this in the bag. He can win. He can lose the last 3 rounds, and he's still going to win the fight. But Lopez, he dug in that last round. But Vasyl tried to make a push, for the knockout. But Lopez made his stand. The body shots he was digging, boy, that took a lot of steam out of Lomachenko's, final push and everything. Because you're going to have that momentum changes. He was trying to get the momentum on his side, and one of the best ways to get a guy one of the best ways to flatten the guy's tire, Joe, did those body shots like Lopez did. Whew. Yeah, Lomachenko. Yeah, after he got hit with them body shots, he took a few steps back and called it a night.
Don't make me laugh, man. I had a gig last night, brother, so I'm going to lose my voice if I laugh too hard, man.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, I tell you what, to Lopez's credit as well, between rounds 11 and 12, Lopez Sr. was saying, son, you've got this fight won. Just go out and box. Well, Teofimo didn't see it that way, and he wanted to put the cherry on top of his performance. Says a lot about his character. Gogue, how did you score the fight? Now, I want to pick your brain about this because I'm trying to make sense of the Julie Letterman card. Now, in the first half of the fight, did you even see one round you could conceivably give to Vasyl Lomachenko?
Hell no. I thought he lost the first 6 rounds. He didn't do nothing, Joe. Joe, you don't win. You win boxing fights by throwing punches and landing significant punches. You don't win boxing fights by being defensive, okay? All right.
Not unless you're Willie Pep.
This is a boxing match. You got to go out there and get your hands busy, land some significant punches, and put an ass whooping on the guy, okay? Where the judges, score the round for you. You don't get this is not Willie Pep, where I heard back in the days he went around without throwing a punch. That's bullshit nowadays, okay? You win fights by throwing and landing significant punches. And Lomachenko, just look at his punch output. Hell, man, I was like, man, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? By the 3rd round, I'm like, okay, girls. I'm referring more to Lomachenko. It's time to fight now, okay? All right? Jeez.
Yeah, it was very strange. Even Anatoly Lomachenko was basically saying to his father or saying to his son, hey, be careful, take your time. And I looked and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. We're already past the 6th round mark. You still want him to take – like he was creating really no sense of urgency. I was really dumbfounded at that point. I'm like, well, it was almost reminiscent of Danny Garcia versus Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson, toward the back half of the fight, boy, he really clearly won those rounds, but it was just a little too late. It's very difficult to win a fight when you've given away half the match. Were you a little shocked? I mean, how do you explain that? A guy who's seen and done as much as Vasyl Lomachenko basically coasting and phoning in the first half of the fight.
It's not what Lomachenko couldn't do, is how Lopez dictated the fight and prevented Lomachenko from doing what he has to do. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. It was Lomachenko. He couldn't get going because of Lopez. Okay, not because of Lomachenko.
Very good.
He fought with no sense of urgency the first 6 rounds and very tentative, very intimidated by this guy. And Jesus, the fuck, what the hell is he in that ring for if you don't want to fight?
Yeah, it was a little surprising. I'm trying to make sense of the Julie Letterman scorecard. Obviously, it was a little consequence because the right man did win in this situation. But we've seen some dreadful scorecards since the return of boxing, since the pandemic. And Julie Letterman is a very competent, consistent judge. How did she get this one so far off the mark, Gogue? Can you even try to make sense of that?
Hell, Joe, I don't know how they train their damn judges. I don't know what the hell they're seeing. You know what I mean? It's very subjective, Joe. Boxing scoring, okay? Every judge has a different view, a different opinion on, I on who wins a round, how they score it, and all that, man. You know, they're supposed to follow a set of guidelines on how and criteria on how to score a fight. Do they follow it? Who knows? But anyway, Joe, like I said, everything scoring it's human, and human beings do make errors, and it's subjective. So, best way, like Marvin Hagler used to say. You know, he never depended on those judges. He always brought his own judges, his left and right, K and O. You know what I mean? That's the best way. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Just knock them out. You ain't got to worry about the judges' decisions.
Well, the total punches landed, right? The total punches. It was Lomachenko landed 141 punches out of 321 thrown, which equated to a 43.9% connect percentage, which is very high. But that's not going to do very much good if you're being outworked 659 to 329, basically more than doubling the amount of punches actually Lomachenko threw. So Lopez's final punch stat was 183 landed out of 659 thrown, for a 27.8% connect percentage. That's, you're looking at a very uphill battle at that point, Gogue.
Yeah.
So it's funny, and Teofimo Lopez, his response, and I'm going to read some quotes to you. His response was, well, quite surprising, actually. He seemed genuinely surprised at the low sense of urgency of Vasyl Lomachenko, and this is what he had to say after the fight. Quote, I expected more. A lot of people were talking highly about him, and I expected more, but, he was pretty basic, honestly, overall. Maybe it was a 14-month layoff that did it. I don't know. I mean, I had a 10-month layoff, so what can you say? And then he went on to say this, quote, I fought the guy that everyone says is the pound-for-pound king and everyone talks so highly about. He's going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame for doing one thing, 3-time fastest, 3-time weight division champion along with closest Shields, but that's it, Everyone's always going to remember this fight with me. You know what I mean? About Lomachenko, we talk the talk and we walk the walk. That's what I do, man. My father doesn't just talk shit to talk shit. He believes in me. He believes in my ability, and I proved that I'm a much smarter fighter than most people gave me credit. Facing someone like that and doing what I did, I'm just telling you right now, you guys haven't seen anything yet, end quote. Did he prove that he's a much smarter fighter than we all gave him credit for, offensively and defensively? What do you expect to see from him going forward, Gogue?
Well, best thing for him to do, Joe, is them bitches like Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, all they do is talk shit. They don't want none of them, okay? So, plus, the dad was, I was reading something on Twitter that the dad, Well, I've heard this through the grapevine, too, that, his son's growing and he wants him to move up to weight to 140. So what I would do, Joe, get him, he's hot right now, so get him back in the ring as soon as possible on ESPN against a solid 140-pound opponent, okay? For his introduction, to make his introduction into the 140-pound division. Then fight the winner of Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. Now, nowadays it's hard to make big fights because them bitches don't want to fight each other. They talk too much shit, and you know how it is. It's 21st century boxing nowadays. But this fight can realistically, with a high probability of success, be made because they're all under the same promoter, Aaron. So the winner of Taylor and Ramirez, which is going to be a huge fight. The winner fights, the guy, the champion moving up in weight, which would be Lopez, and that fight would be huge, especially in New York, Madison Square Garden. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
That's, I'm thinking ahead. They got to get this COVID under control, and the governor of the state opens up live sporting events where they could get a live, gate and everything to make it an exciting event. Because this fight, Lopez is from Brooklyn, and I suspect Taylor is going to win the fight, okay? Because I think he's a better fighter, and if he does, he'll get a huge following of UK he could possibly get a huge following of UK fans coming over. Like I said, then again, Joe, the way the economy is, I don't know if a lot of them can afford coming down there. But, New York would be the perfect setting for a big fight like that. Yeah, Taylor and Lopez and everything, because, he's from Brooklyn. Plus, what is Taylor? Is he Scottish or is he Irish? What is he?
Oh, Josh Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Scottish.
Oh, he's still got UK fans, so, hopefully he'll get a bunch of UK fans over there coming by. But, yeah, that's what I would do, Joe. I mean, you 135 pounds, what else has he got to prove, Come on, man. He don't want to wait around for Ryan Garcia, Mr. Instagram, or Devin Haney, Mr. Email champion. He's going to, he wants to fight. And, best thing to do, Joe, just let him move up and weight. And if Haney and Garcia want to fight him in the future, let them prove themselves, and maybe next year, when he moves up to 140. But I see that fight, the winner of Taylor and Ramirez is going to be hot property. Okay?
Indeed.
And Teofimo already made himself hot property. So when you got two hot properties fighting each other, Joe, you create that buzz.
Well, it's funny. I did some digging, and I called around, and I spoke to a gentleman who I have to leave. Well, I can't really name drop this one because he wasn't supposed to tell me, but he did, and we found out before the fight the real reason why there wasn't a rematch clause on either side. Because win or lose, he told me that neither man was going to be defending their 135-pound title. Immediately, win or lose, Lomachenko was going to start campaigning once again at 130 pounds because Bob Arum pretty much has a monopoly on all of the best fighters at 130 outside of Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta Davis. You've got Oscar Valdez. You've got Miguel Burchell. You've got Carl Frampton, Jamil Herring, Shakur Stevenson. I mean, he can basically has his schedule lined up for the next 2 years, right? And Teofimo Lopez, this was his last fight at 135 pounds. But this is what he had to say just to create some waves. And once again, he already knew this. And I don't understand. Maybe he's just trying to sound like a rebel, sound like a typical disgruntled fighter. But this is what he had to say afterwards at the press conference. When asked about a potential rematch with Vasyl Lomachenko, he said this, quote, "For what? I beat him, and I did everything I had to beat him. If anything, it'll happen again, the same way. There was no rematch clause for a reason. They had it. Now I can talk my shit. Team Lomachenko didn't have a rematch clause for a rematch, and they gave me a contract." He's talking about Bob Arum now. "They gave me a contract pretty much on the side. If you lose, this is what you're going to get in your next fights," which pretty much saying they're predicting that I was going to lose. So it's fine. Now they get to eat it up, suck it up, and now it's time for us to take over and move forward. That's it. I told y'all, out with the old and in with the new. So it's funny. He's trying to create this perception that Bob Arum and Top Rank, for some reason, weren't on his side. That's just silly. That's just ignorance. And
I don't get involved with office politics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, his team knows the reality of it. Once again, Bob, win or lose, had plans for him to fight the winner of Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor. They've already had plans. I was told that that's going to be the reality next year.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't know that, but I know I didn't know that, but I know Top Rank. I know Top Rank, and I know, being in the business, a long time. I know, how they think and what their motivations are. So I didn't know that, but they do stuff that makes sense. They're not like Al Heyman, okay, where they put their best fights on pay-per-view where nobody buys it and puts their worst fights on Showtime or Fox. That's Al Heyman. He does shit totally backwards, okay? That's why they get shit ratings and nobody buys their pay-per-views. That Charlo did 100,000 buys? Huh, my ass. I bet you they did less than that. Now, guess what, Joe? Showtime, they didn't. They, how they brag. if they hit a home run, they'll brag about it. The following Monday, we did 5 million pay-per-views. They didn't say shit about it. They haven't even mentioned it yet. So it failed. They lost money. Okay, Steven Espinosa, whose job's probably on the line, man. If you don't start changing shit around, man. You know what I mean? Because Showtime is not in the business to lose money. Okay, they do these to make money. Okay, it's business.
Of course.
And Al's so fucked up. He does shit backwards all the time, man. You know what I mean? That Charlo fight should have been, or that doubleheader pay-per-view should have been on free TV like Aram's thing. Now look at Aram. You want to talk about the ratings, Joe, or you want to talk about it later? It's up to you.
Well, no, we've got the outline. We'll start talking about everything. I still want to get your thoughts on this. And once again, Teofimo, another quote that he had regarding facing the winner of Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez in 2021. He said this, absolutely, bring it on. I think everyone was shook with Loma, and I think people have too much respect for him, and I think that's what they see, that I just bit down and I put the fight. I pressed on it. I don't duck or dodge any of these guys. And the guys at 140 pounds, they don't have the will to win like I do, so hell yeah, 140. If anything, it's a dangerous fight for them because that's where I'm fully hydrated and I feel much better and faster and stronger than they are. So bring on either Taylor or Ramirez, end quote. I like his attitude, Gogue. He said that.
Oh, I didn't know that, Joe. I didn't know. You know what, Joe? I didn't know he said that. I don't. What do you call it, Joe? I don't follow a lot of that media shit. You know what I mean?
That's all right. That's why we always cover the post-fight pressers as well, man.
Oh, he said that. I didn't know that. See, I was just going in my head. When you ask me what makes sense, what makes the best sense, and I just know how Top Rank thinks. You know what I mean? And from Lopez not wanting to make weight, moving up in weight. So okay, that's pretty much on the same level what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. Well, you were taught by the best, Gogue.
Yeah.
The best matchmaker in the business. Joe. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been in the business a long time, and I know them. I know them guys at the suits at Top Rank a long time. I know how they think. I know how they plan. They're real boxing. They're a real promoter, Joe. Look, Joe, you want to hear this, Joe? You want to hear something?
There, brother.
Look how fucked up boxing is, the environment. Look at all the promoters that can't get like Golden Boy right now. You know what I mean? They're going through that shit with Canelo. The zone is cut back on their TV dates. Okay, they got over 80 fighters that can't that haven't been kept busy. Not only Golden Boy, but look at all the other promoters out there. Okay, Joe. There's only two of them that are thriving right now. Heyman because of Showtime and Fox, and Top Rank. Now Heyman, they haven't been doing a lot of fights on Fox 1, but they Al got his clause in Showtime where they do one a month on their championship boxing. Then he does one a month on Fox, and they'll throw him a couple on the Fox Sports Network. Keep their fighters busy. Top Rank, oh shit, I mean they're staying busy on ESPN loves them and everything because they know they have faith in them that they can grow the sport. Now look at all the other promoters in boxing. Fucking, they're DeBella. You know what I mean? Look at all of them. I don't want to put them on the spot, but look, they're dying. They're dying, Joe. They got no revenue coming in.
Yeah, I know Lou DeBella hasn't put on a stage to fight card since early this year. And you can say the same for Joe DeGuardia. You can say the same for Artie Palullo.
Well, Thompson Boxing is doing club shows. Yeah, but I mean, you can't make big money on club shows, okay? But the thing is, and they're developing fighters. But like I said, Golden Boy was one of the major powers. They're probably at one time they were the top promoter, but now, man, I mean, boxing, it's in a bad state. This fight. We'll talk about the ratings, Joe, later, but it did wonders. It gave a steroid injection into the sport temporarily. Now, in order for the sport to keep thriving and growing bigger and bigger, this stuff, big fights like this, got to keep happening on a consistent basis, not on pay-per-view with Al, the way Al does it with that fat boy Tank Davis that can't make weight against Leo Santa Cruz, a blown up, I like Leo and everything. So I'm glad he's getting the payday, but that fight ain't pay-per-view worthy, okay? It's not special. Pay-per-view fights are meant to be special, not not good fights that should be on Showtime, Championship Boxing, or Fox. They got to be special, like Duran, Leonard. That was special. Hagler, Hearns. That was special, okay? Tyson, Holyfield. That was special. You know what I mean? De La Hoya, Trinidad. Special. Not Fat Boy Tank in Santa Cruz. But that's what I'm saying, Joe. The sport, like I said, Arum, they're the best promoter in boxing. And Bob, even though he's a Democrat, okay, he works for the people, okay? He works for the people. All right, he gives the fans what they want. Okay, he don't put this shit on pay-per-view. Okay, and that's what I like about it, man. It was a good night of boxing, Joe. The first 6 rounds kind of like scared me, like, oh God, this is gonna fucking. Oh. Then he started picking it up, and it turned out to a good fight. But the Saucedo fight, if you want to talk about that. And
don't jump the gun. We're not finished with the main event, brother.
Okay.
Let's talk now about.
Joe. You're the ambassador. You're the admiral for the ship. You go ahead, keep telling the motherfucker. Okay.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna lose my voice, brother. Goodness gracious. But no, we'll get to everything. We've got a lot of ground to cover. We still have a lot of time left. About 30 minutes left in the show. Vasyl Lomachenko. Let's talk about the eventual. Gentleman who came up short, Vasyl Lomachenko, the former lineal lightweight champion. He was so pissed. Do you remember leading into this event, he had done a great job trying to speak more English. Well, apparently, the Lopez beating, he punched him into, strictly speaking Ukrainian. Because after the fight, he showed no effort or desire to answer any questions any longer in English. And so with the help of Vigas Klimas, his manager, he had this to say about the fight, quote, I think in the first half of the fight he got more rounds than I did. But in the second half of the fight, I took it over and I was much better than he was. I want to go home and see what I can do better. I'm definitely not agreeing with the scorecards, though. I thought I won the fight, but the results are the results, and I'm not going to argue with it right now. Right now, I just plan to go home and we'll discuss what I'm going to do in the future, end quote. Gogue, like I said, he sounds a lot like Lamont Peterson when he came up short against Danny Garcia. Too little, too late. Realistically, is he just doing this to save face? I mean, what's going on here in your mind?
Probably to save face, Joe. But, once he gets back, him and his dad sit down and watch the fight and give an honest assessment of themselves, okay? Don't make excuses. That's what I'm trying to say, Joe. Be a what do you call it? A professional. Learn from your mistakes and move on. And if they do look at this fight objectively and they realize, we gave this guy too much respect, we started too late, we gave too many rounds away, then you move on. But Joe, like I said, when you find a guy like Lopez, bigger, stronger, what do you call it? Electrifying power that can get your attention. It's hard to execute the game plan. It was hard for him to execute the game plan which he wanted, which was his vaunted, press attack. You know what I mean? That's how he, that's how he wins fights. His pressure, his intelligent pressure with the angles, combination punching, in variation. That's how he wins fights. But he couldn't do that because Lopez didn't let him do it because he got his attention area on and got that intimidation factor established. But moving forward, like I said, it's just you got to be a pro, Joe. Okay, come on, man. You lose fights, you learn. The guy was a better fight. I didn't do this, that. I got to get better at that. But he ain't gonna be fighting nobody like Lopez if he moves down to 130.
Indeed. So now let's talk about the ratings. It looks like from what I'm being told right now, and it's not official, we'll see later on this week, according to Nielsen Media Research, what the actual tallies are. But from what I'm being told, that this broadcast did well over 2 million and could be closer to 3 million by the end of the week. Gogue, what does this mean? What does this do for boxing? Now, keep in mind, this is nothing short of miraculous. When you consider that the NBA Finals Game 6 with the Lakers and the Miami Heat only did an average of 5.6 million viewers. What does this say about boxing fans? As long as you give them the best fights possible, they will tune in. What does this say for top-ranking ESPN, especially ESPN's interest moving forward? Because it was just announced on the broadcast that we're now going to see on free ESPN as well, November 14th, Terrence Crawford's going to defend his WBO title against Kell Brook, and that's once again going to be broadcast on free ESPN.
What does it say, Joe? It's the start, okay? We're not there yet. We're far from being that sport it once was, okay? But with consistent matchups like that, the best fighting, the best good solid matchups, okay? On a consistent basis, that's how you develop the fan base, okay? And it's got to be on free, not pay-per-view like Al's doing, okay? Al fucks up more shit in boxing than he helps it, okay? But he does. And not only, like you said, Joe, he's the biggest obstructionist in boxing, but as far as, building and nurturing the sport, he's a fuck-up, okay? The way he does shit. He does it all for, he does it all for, he's a money grabber, okay? Greed, okay? They're fucking greed, that's all. But anyway, Aram, like I said, Aram's doing it the right way, and they got to do it on a consistent basis, Joe. Because without consistency, Joe, nothing happens. Okay, you know that. It's got to be consistent. Just like a fighter, he needs to train on a consistent basis to develop the best he can be. Now, if a fighter trains half-ass and he ain't gonna turn out to be shit. It's just like boxing. You put on the best fights all the time, you're gonna have a great sport. You do it once in a while, you're going to be back to the, it's like boxing. There's an old saying in boxing, it keeps shooting itself in the foot. So, that's the key, Joe. And this, I want to be honest with you. Brook against Crawford, oh, Jesus. It's a good match because of Terrence Crawford, and they're having problems, because Al's got all the top 147-pounders, and, of course, Al ain't going to want him to, cross the street to fight Crawford on their network. So, Aram, of course, wants to make bitch Al. He's, like you said, he's a fucking biggest obstructionist in boxing. He ain't going to get it done. So, I can't blame Aram. I can't blame Crawford. It's, you got to blame the other guy across the street, for not participating and putting the best fights on available.
Well, at the very least, we can say this. It's going to be fun for the casual and mainstream fans. It should be a lot more entertaining than what we saw last night also. Now, obviously, most people were excited to see that fight and how it played out, and I thought the broadcast team did a really good job keeping everyone enthralled up until the closing bell, creating that drama, even if they created more than there actually was. Yeah,
and the
that's
producer.
Right. That's right. He's very good, obviously, at what he does. So I'll say this. It's a very good style matchup, Terrence Crawford versus Kell Brook, which will more than likely end in a decisive and fan-friendly knockout. So that's something to look forward to. But let's go back to the event that took place at the Bubble at the MGM Grand last night. Congratulations.
Hey, Joe, who's going to be fighting? Who's going to be fighting on the undercard of that? That helps out, too.
You know what? That's putting me on the spot. But they did announce one fighter that's going to be featured on the undercard, and it's eluding me right now. I will look it up in just 1 second. But let's finish off with this event, and we'll talk about future events in a second. But congratulations to Teofimo Lopez. He improves his record to 16-0. My word. And he becomes the undisputed, and yes, I'm saying undisputed, because wasn't it funny how WBC slipped that title in at the last minute, the week of the fight, saying that, Teofimo Lopez is our guy, and not only are we making a special belt for this special occasion, but we're also going to be making a trainer's belt, and we're going to reward it to the winner, either Anatoly or Teofimo Sr., Didn't you think that was quite convenient the way Suleiman actually did that?
I swear to God, he does more shit to fuck up this sport than he does good, okay? The way these motherfuckers, man. I'm sick of it, Joe. That's one of the reasons why I don't watch a lot of fights. They create too many worthless belts. they dilute the meaning of what it means to be world champion. See, back then there wasn't all this bullshit like they're doing now. Okay, when you became world champion, it was like a sacred. It's something sacred, something rare happened. You're world champion. Okay, it meant something because it had value. But now everybody got a fucking belt, and it dilutes the value of what a world champion really means. And him putting up all these bullshit belts and this and that. Oh fuck, Joe. I like Mauricio too. I like Mauricio. He's a good man. You know, I known him way back then. Him and his dad Jose, and but I don't like his policies. Okay, and what he's doing.
Indeed. So I tell you what, congratulations though, nonetheless, to Teofimo Lopez. He becomes the lineal, ring-recognized lightweight champion. Even if he does skedaddle immediately to 140 pounds, this creates a lot of interesting parity, though. He's going to relinquish all the titles, so that means every title will be up for grabs eventually in 2021. That means we should get a lot of interesting title matchups in 2021 at 135. Obviously, or arguably one of the hottest, deepest divisions in all of boxing. But let's go to the undercard, Gogue. In the co-main event of the evening, it was Alex Saucedo who, fought hard, but he fell short. He just came up short against undefeated Arnold Barboza Jr. in a 10-round co-main event of the evening. Gogue, what did you think of that scrap? It was very entertaining. And what did you think of the poise and ability of Arnold Barboza Jr.?
Saucedo, let me see, isn't he related to Jaime Munguia? Because they both take punches. They both look like they take punches the same way to their face. Holy shit. You know what I mean? God damn. Man, I like Alex. I know Alex. He's a good kid. I've known him since he was 14, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
He used to train in my gym in Texas and everything. Fought one of my kids in amateur. And, man, he just hasn't improved. I mean, like I said, a lot of it has to do with coaching, too, you know what I mean? But he doesn't understand. The way he likes to fight, he likes to mix it up. He likes to mix it up at close range, medium range, in the pocket. But, god dang, you better have some fucking defense when you get in that kill zone because you're not the only one going to be throwing punches. Your opponent's going to be throwing back, okay? And you better, you just got to know the fundamentals of defense, and when you're in the pocket. It comes with a good fundamental stance, not squaring up so you get hit by uppercuts or any other punches. Keeping your elbows tucked in, keeping your hands up in a nice high guard tight defense, covering your face like Winky Wright, okay? That's the way, that's the fundamental, the fundamentals of fighting inside defensively, okay? Winky Wright's a perfect example. If you fans out there don't know who Winky Wright, watch him when he fought Trinidad, watch him when he fought Shane Mosley. Yeah. He had, he didn't use a lot of head movement and all that bullshit. He just had his hands up real tight, right, guarding his face, okay, and his elbows tucked in, and his gloves, slanted inwards at a 45-degree angle. So, so his face, so those punches wouldn't come through the gloves. Unlike Saucedo, who just put his hands up and had his, it's funny, Joe. You want to hear a funny story? These fucking trainers, get your fucking hands up. Your hands need to come up, but they still get hit. You know why, Joe? When they put their hands up, watch when they put their hands up. Their face is still exposed right down the middle to get hit by punches. Okay, it's not having your hands up. It's the way you it's the hand placement of those gloves on your face and how you protect your face. Like I said, open them damn gloves up like Winky Wright. Slant them inwards at a 45-degree angle. Then you have your face fully protected and you can block those punches effectively, okay? All right? And, of course, use upper body movement and all that shit and angles and all that to get hit less. But that's, Saucedo, he continues to make the same defensive mistakes over and over, even when he was with Abel Sanchez, okay? Okay, Abel didn't do a good job with him. Yeah, his defense was just as bad. But these coaches he got now, it still looks the same, Joe. What I'm trying to say, Joe, he didn't learn from history. History keeps repeating itself. And, give credit to Barboza. He did a great job. He fought, when Saucedo tried to take him in the pocket, he held his ground and fought back and returned fire. Then when he took him to the outside, which was to his advantage, he had the quicker hands, a better jab, better, he was a better athletic fighter at range. He just picked Saucedo apart with the jab, the 1-2, just basic stuff, Joe. None of that shit, you see on the Mayweather Midwork video. Just basic 1, 2, 3 combinations, man. And that's what wins fights, Joe. Because you keep getting hit by them little gloves, them little bitty 8-ounce gloves. 1 punch, 2 punches, 3 punches. Hey, they add up over time, and your face starts getting. As the rounds go on, your face starts getting marked up. But man, I really wanted Saucedo. I liked him, man. But I just thought, you know what I mean. His defense that's his biggest downfall, Joe, and it's going to be like that for his whole career. And Joe, guess what? Now, in boxing, you're only good as your last fight. And, Saucedo, now he's just turned into a good opponent. That's all.
Boy, it's a shame because, our good friend Ronnie Shields had him for a good minute as well. And he was complaining about the same thing with Alex.
No defense.
And if you can't learn the fundamentals from a guy like Ronnie Shields, then, there's a problem.
Ronnie's an excellent teacher, excellent trainer.
Mm-hmm. He sure is.
Yeah,
but congratulations to Arnold Barboza, who improved his record to 25-0. Also, congratulations to one Mr. Edgar Berlanga. Improved his record to 15. We'll get into that, Gogue. I know you want to rip some people about this. Edgar Berlanga improved his record to 15-0 with 15 consecutive first-round knockouts against poor Linnell Bellows, who never had a chance when he signed the contract for this fight. Gogue, hold on, brother. Have you ever seen a worse stoppage in your life?
Joe, not poor Linnell Bellows, poor scared Linnell Bellows. Okay, that's a difference. All right? Look, Joe, one thing I hate is a motherfucker, he's knocking guys out. Oh, you can see he can hit. You can see, his punching power is legit, okay? He's big, strong. But I hate it when, he knows he's that much way, way better than his opponent who was pretty much went in there terrified, knocks him out. Then he gets on the ropes and starts saying, I'm a fucking monster. I'm a fucking monster. Well, shit, geez. If I fought an opponent that, came in there peeing in his pants, half scared, and knocked him out like that, you know what I mean? I could look like a monster. But anyway, Joe, it scares me. Like Don Targin always told me, when he sees guys getting quick knockouts coming up, it's not good for a young prospect like that development. He's not getting them quality professional rounds in he needs to nurture his craft, okay? You got to go the rounds, Joe, to learn things, okay? Especially learn how to fight through adversity, learn how to fight through tough moments, learn to fight when you're fighting a tricky opponent, learning to think and adapt to overcome. That's what happens, Joe, when you fight. When you get a fighter in front of you that's giving you good quality rounds, you're learning new stuff on how to adapt, to think. That's the main thing. And Berlanga, getting up there on the ropes, after he knocked out that scared to death soul. You know what I mean? And I'm a fucking monster. I'm a fucking monster. Joe, you ever see them fucking guys nowadays? These fucking fighters crack me up.
Oh boy.
These fucking young prospects, they get up, they knock a guy out. They get up on the ropes, pounding their chest like they're some fucking, gorilla. And the guy they just beat was like 5 and 17. You know what I mean, Joe? Guy's 5 and man, just shut the fuck up. What I'm trying to say is, you got to win. Just be quiet about it. Okay?
Well,
be quiet about it. Be humble and go on to the next fight. Fuck these guys.
Well, fighters nowadays really don't know the meaning of being humble, right? And they don't know the asset of humility yet. I'll say this, though, Gogue. I thought that was the worst stoppage I think I've ever seen, one of the worst. Robert Hoyle, the first three punches that were landed referee Robert Hoyle comes in and he's saying, show me something, you got to show me something. Wait a minute, he hadn't hit the canvas yet. He had only taken 3 clean shots. He wasn't doing the Zab Judah dance yet. Why on earth was Robert Hoyle already warning him, hey, you better show me something, and then he stopped the fight?
He saw fear in the guy's eyes, like, please stop the fight. I'm not going to tell you. You stop it for me. Okay, Joe? He saw fear in that guy's eyes, man. Oh, my God, this guy, please stop it. You know, he gave them nonverbal expressions. He gave them nonverbal expressions. He's not going to tell them, fuck this shit. You know, fighters have different ways of expressing themselves when they don't want to fight, and usually it's through nonverbal expressions, by looking at their eyes, like, you want like this week, Joe. You know, my gym. You know, I got amateurs coming in there. You know what I mean? And you know, I control the sparring, and because you know, a lot of these young coaches nowadays, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, so they're gonna get these kids hurt. But I get in the ring and I ref. And one of the young guys was taking advantage of the other guys, and he got hit with this good shot, and I stopped it real quick, and they all looked at me. I looked into the guy's eyes, and I go, "You all right? You're all right?" And you could see that fear in his eyes. I said, no more. That's what Robert Hoyle could see. So a lot of guys are getting mad at Robert, but like I said, I'm in the business, and I know, man, when somebody don't want to fight, just like that guy in sparring the other day. He looked at me like, please stop it. Please stop it. I'm going to tell my mommy if you don't stop it. And I stopped it. I can see it. You know what I mean, Joe? I don't want to get a kid beat up. And Robert Hoyle saw the same thing. The first thing I was telling myself when that happened, Robert saw the same thing I saw the other day when the kids were sparring. Yeah. Good job, Robert.
Gosh.
Hey, Robert's a good guy. I've known him way back in the day.
Veteran referee.
When he started out as an inspector, then he got to be a judge. In fact, the very first fight he ever judged, he judged my fight, one of my kids' fight. It was on the undercard of De La Hoya. When De La Hoya fought Mayweather, I think. Yeah, we fought the first fight of the night. He was the judge. First fight he ever judged, he told me. He saw me. And
wow.
And I saw him. And, he gave, of course, the fight was a split decision, and he gave give my kid the nod, and that's why we won the fight, by the way. But anyway, did me knowing the guy pretty good help out? Yeah, of course. But anyway, that was a long time ago, so I can talk about that. Like Manuel said, you got to Manuel Stewart won a lot of fights because of he was good friends with the judge.
I'm not going to say anything about. I'm not saying anything about Emmanuel's relationship with Robert Byrd.
I know some fights Manuel won, and because he knew the judges, man. I mean, come on, man. Emmanuel knew it too. It's that way with everybody, Joe. If you know the judges, they're going to take care of you. I know one. I can give you another fighter if you want. Gabriel Elizondo. We fought. What's that guy? Jose Navarro. Yeah, we fought Jose Navarro, man. We won 4 out of the 8 rounds, but one of the judges I knew gave us the fight. Okay, because he knew me and the manager real good. Yeah, I knew it too going into the fight. I knew they told me that guy was the judge, and I started smiling. That's the way boxing is, Joe. You gotta, you know what I mean. It's good to know judges. It's political, and life is political. Life is political. It's relationships. All right, but anyway, it helps out.
Well, anyway, it's hard to get a warm, fuzzy feeling about boxing after that, Gogue. Thanks a lot, man.
Well, that's why it's good to bring in, a lot of times, I don't know all the judges, but like I said, if ones that rise through the ranks like Hoyle, you know what I mean? He's an inspector, then he's a judge, then now he's a referee. There's relationships you develop over time, man. You know what I mean, Joe? And that's what boxing is. Look at Samson Lekowicz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how the hell do you think he got that Thai guy fighter, number 1, to fight Josh Taylor?
Oh, jeez.
His
that was embarrassing, Gogue.
Okay, with the WBC. Okay?
Yep.
Come on now, man. It's that's the way the game is. And like I said, Manuel would have told you the same thing. It's just, boxing is a game of politics, okay? You just don't want to be on the wrong side of the fence, or you're going to get fucked. Okay, that's the bottom line.
And there you have it, guys.
But Berlanga, congratulations, Edgar. Congratulations, Edgar, on your great victory. And you could go to the nightclub and start fucking getting on the table, pounding your chest, telling everybody you're a fucking monster, okay? After knocking out that scared to death Mel Bellows.
Oh, boy.
Right? Yeah.
Well, congratulations to all of the successful fighters last night. Congratulations to Top Rank and ESPN for staging such a brilliant event. And according to what I've been told, it captured a very, very wide audience. Your final thoughts on this, Gogue?
I was fucking shocked when he got on the ropes and started banging his chest on the fucking mouth. Like, what the fuck is he? The guy he fought was scared to death. I was shocked. I'm like, shut up. If I was a coach, hey, come here. Okay? You're embarrassing me, all right? All right, that's what I would have told him. You're embarrassing me. But anyway, go ahead, Joe. Yeah, sorry for interrupting you. I just had to say that.
Well, I'm sure Andre Rozier was thinking the same thing, brother.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you didn't just beat up Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
that's
what,
why
good
he
luck
made him do those push-ups. That's why he made him do those push-ups in the ring afterwards, probably. Shit.
Probably, brother, probably. I tell you what, congratulations, Owen. Good luck on the road ahead at 168 pounds. That's a very, very deep division, Gogue.
Hey, Joe,
I tell you what,
he's got a lot. Hey, Joe, them first-round knockouts, I don't get impressed by him, but a lot of fans do that don't know boxing. Oh, my God, look at this fucking killer. Oh, my God. And he's Puerto Rican, and he talks a lot of shit, and he's from New York. Yeah, I like him, man. He's good for boxing, Joey. We need young kids like that, okay, injected in the sport to keep it going. Because these old fucking shot over-the-hill fighters that are trying to come back like Oscar De La Hoya, Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, they just ain't cutting it. That's not going to grow the sport.
Well, let me ask you something, Gogue, staying on that topic. And once again, if we want to thank everyone for hanging with us. It looks like we're going to go over time because we still have quite a bit to cover regarding this weekend's big fights on DAZN as well as Showtime Sports. But staying on topic, though, Gogue, and this is something you know a lot about, what do you tell a fighter when they're facing a guy who has a string of first-round knockouts? This is something you know a lot about. Please share that experience with us. And this was on Showtime, right?
Showbox, yeah, I had Carson Jones. Yeah, we took the fight on 10 days' notice. I knew the dude was a fraud. And I told Carson the guy's a fraud. We're going to knock him the fuck out. Yeah, because I remember we got the fight. I'm like, we got the fight on 10 days' notice. A lot of coaches are now these bitch-ass coaches got no balls. They would all know. We need 6 weeks to get ready. But Carson, we had like 8 or 9 fights prior, through the year. We were always keeping busy. We were always sharp. So I knew, we just came off a fight like 2 weeks earlier. So, Carson, I told Carson to do some running just to stay in shape. Just we might get the call, and we might get a call. Then lo and behold, 10 days before the fight, we got the call, and they didn't even call me. They told me we got the fight. I didn't even, they didn't have to call me. I said, yeah, that's a perfect fight. That guy's a fraud. The guy had never been, past 1 round or something like that. You know what I mean? All knockouts and everything.
Yep, so, he was going for the record.
Ended up knocking him out.
Yeah, Tyrone Brunson at the time was going for the record, Gogue, for most consecutive first-round knockouts. Yeah.
And he was a fraud, though, Joe. I knew it, though. I knew it was a fraud because I looked on his record, who he fought, and I was like, I didn't, and I Carson been with me like over a year and a half, so, he had some time with me. We had some chemistry. And, he was, number one thing I had to teach Carson when I got him. He was an opponent. He was 16-7 with an opponent's attitude, meaning, he wasn't he didn't train like a real professional. So the number one thing I did, I changed his mindset. Okay, I taught him how to train like a real pro. Okay, how the dedication, the work ethic, the intensity, the seriousness when how you train when you're in the gym, the sparring. He never had no sparring, and I used to put him in a lot of tough sparring and everything. We used to get his ass with. At the beginning, then as he got better, he turned everything around. He started once I taught him how to train like a professional, Joe, his mindset started changing. He started becoming. He started believing he could become a world-class fighter instead of a fucking opponent with no confidence in himself. That just goes there. Just goes to a fight. Give your opponent a good fight and lose. That's what an opponent is, Joe. A guy that knows he ain't has a chance to win, but he'll give you a half-ass fight just to get a paycheck. But Carson changed. His mindset changed and everything. That's why I didn't have a problem taking the fight. I knew I could trust Carson, and pulled the upset. We were 4-1 underdog, yeah, and that's why I'm saying, man, this Berlanga, and Bruce too, Russell too, Peltz, Don Chargan, all these veterans know that it's worrisome when your guys knocking guys out quick and nobody's giving them quality rounds. Whew. There's old saying in boxing, Joe, you win by the sword, you die by the sword. Okay?
Indeed, brother. Well, let's look to the road ahead. October 23rd, we're going to get a brilliant triple header on DAZN. And the main event of the evening, Gogue, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez is going to be facing Israel Gonzalez in 12-round main event. And that's going to be up for grabs is going to be Roman Gonzalez's WBA Super Flyweight Championship. What do you like about this fight, Gogue?
I don't know the motherfucker he's fighting, but I know Chocolatito. Okay, Chocolatito is one of my favorite fighters out there.
Indeed.
Pressure fighter, an intelligent pressure fighter. Okay, Joe. Beautiful combinations he throws to the head, body, head, devastating body puncher. The angles he works, Joe. But, Joe, he's an intelligent pressure fighter because he knows how to use his footwork, not only to get inside, not only to work angles, but to move in small circles around your opponent. So so he never lets his opponent get in the rhythm. Okay, he always has him turning, always turning and setting him, always turning, making him reset himself, and always making his opponent get into a rhythm again. But you ever notice that with Chocolatito, man? He just doesn't just stand there and throw punches and block punches with his face like Saucedo or Jaime Munguia or Alfredo Angulo. Or his attack is highly sophisticated, okay? With the angles, the combinations, the body punches, his ability to keep turning you, moving in circles, okay? His footwork, yeah. I like Chocolatito. And this fight is just a warm-up for, I guess, the rematch of Gallo. What's that guy's name? Juan Francisco Estrada, Gallo Estrada. Yeah, who's also became who's also developed into a better fighter over the years. I can see him developing, different skill sets to add to his already repertoire of weapons.
Indeed. So his opponent, Israel Gonzalez, right, Chocolatitos, is 25-3, and he's only 23 years old from Mexico.
He's going to get his ass whooped.
Yeah, well, and you called it, Gogue, because in the co-main event of the evening, you've got Juan Francisco Estrada versus, the rematch, Carlos Cuadras. This is a great fight, and it's going to be for Estrada's WBC Super Flyweight Championship as well. What do you like about this matchup, Gogue?
Oh, great matchup under the radar. Joe, to tell you the truth, I didn't even know they were fighting. I'm so fucking disappointed in the zone. They become a fucking fraud. All those bullshit fights they're putting on. Danny Jacobs against Gabriel Rosado. Then they got Demetrius Andre. Oh, fuck yeah. Get the fuck out of here. And Eddie Hearns' bullshit he's putting on. Then they put on Chavez Jr. Oh, come on. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Okay, now this is a real fight card they're putting on, okay? I didn't even know that these two guys were fighting, Juan Francisco Estrada and Carlos what's his name? Cuadras?
Carlos Cuadras, yeah.
Guy's name? I don't even know half of these motherfuckers what their names are. I just remember their fight. But that's a good stylistic matchup, good rematch. Yeah, I don't know. That was a long time ago they fought. So,
yep.
Cuadras hasn't improved shit. But this fucking Rudy Hernandez is training him, so he's gonna be ready. And this Cuadras and Gallo Estrada, he's going to be ready, because he's got a good trainer too, a guy that Alfredo Caballero, one of Mexico's best trainers, a guy, strict disciplinarian. He'll get him in great shape, and you know what I mean, and yeah, it's a good stylistic matchup. Yeah, I like that. Joe, like I said, I don't watch a lot of boxing nowadays, but I'm going to watch. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to watch that card. I didn't even know what was going on, to tell you the truth.
Well, another reason to listen to War Week Radio, brother.
Yeah. I'm going to watch that one, yeah.
So in the opening bout of the triple header, you're going to see Julio Cesar Martinez versus Maximino Flores, and he's going to be defending his WBC flyweight championship. What do you like about Julio Cesar Martinez? He's 16-1, 12 knockouts, and El Rey is the current WBC flyweight champion.
Fat Boy didn't make weight last time? Fat Boy didn't make weight? Or Gervonta Davis, too. His Mexican brother. Fuck it. Shit.
Yeah, and he's only 25 years old, Gogue.
Huh?
He's only 25 years old, Gogue.
He didn't make weight his last fight, didn't he? Is it, Joe? I can't remember.
I don't think it was his last one, Gogue.
Oh, I can't remember. I just remember I was disappointed. I wanted to watch him fight, then Fat Boy didn't. He pulled out of the fight or something because of weight issues. That fat motherfucker, man. That typical bullshit nowadays. So he's on my shit list until I see the fight, Joe. But he comes to fight. He's an aggressive fighter that likes to mix it up, and he destroyed that British guy, Charlie Edwards. I saw that fight. He took him apart. He turned Charlie Edwards into a little bitch. Okay, with that pressure, you know what I mean? He really broke Charlie Edwards' pipes, with that hard pressure he puts on. So yeah, that should be a good fight and everything. And 112 pounds. I mean, Jesus. I mean, that's not a big market in the United States. In the other countries like Mexico, Japan, Thailand, you got a lot of them guys. But I mean, what the fuck? I mean, what are you gonna do with that fucking guy? I mean, you know what I mean? And then Fat Boy doesn't make weight.
Yep.
Shit.
Well, you're gonna have him open up for Juan Francisco Estrada and Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. That's what you're gonna. He's opening the card, so.
That was a good card. Finally, DAZN. DAZN has been a fucking joke. Okay, they're fucking, a bunch of, Now they're in this big old battle with Canelo, the box's, biggest star here in America and Mexico. Then they put on shitty matchups. They overpay their fighters, Eddie Hearns. And they need, what they need to do, Joe? They need to just yank that contract away from Eddie, send them back to England, and give those TV dates. Keep the TV dates open. Don't sign with no fucking promoter. Okay,
that's right.
Just buy the best fights available for the customers. Okay, instead of this exclusive bullshit. Or Golden Boy got a good stable of fighters. Golden Boy got a great stable of fighters. They're hurting right now, and it'd be good that they got the dates and they could keep their stable. Like guys like Victor Ortiz. Motherfucker, they got him hot the last fight, and they don't even know when they're gonna fight him again. What the fuck? That's not how you build a hot brand. Ryan Garcia,
one of the best prospects in boxing. Yep.
Yeah, it took them forever to make that fight. Then they got other fights like my boy Luis Feliciano, Jojo Diaz, Alex Rocha. They got a lot of good other fighters, prospects. They got coming up. They signed so many fighters, new fighters. They hadn't even got their first fight with Golden Boy yet.
Indeed. So that's going to be your card on DAZN October 23rd, Friday. Now, the following evening, Gogue, you want to talk some more BS regarding the sanctioning organizations. Listen to this. You're going to love this, brother. In the main event of the evening, you've got Sergey Lipinets, good fighter, taking on Custio Clayton in a 12-round main event of the evening, and it's going to be held, Gogue, for the vacant IBF interim welterweight championship. What the hell does that mean, brother?
It means that the IBF, you know what it means, Joe? The IBF is seeing the WBC and the WBA making all that extra money with these sanctioning fees, so they're following their lead to get some of that money. The fuck out of here with that shit. I like Lipinets. Lipinets is trained by Joe Goosen. He's become a better fighter under Joe than he used to be trained by Buddy McGirt, a good trainer. But Buddy's style is more the sweet science, range and distance. You know.
Yep.
Joe is in your face. I'm gonna knock you the fuck out, and you know, if you can't stop us, oh well. Joe believes in inside fighting, and he's a good teacher inside fighting. You can see Lipinet's style. Yeah, you know, when he fought Lamont Peterson, you can see the big change when Joe Goosen became aboard. Yeah, so I like Lipinets, and you know, I got rid of my Showtime. So if they don't show it over here for free on ESPN Knockouts, fuck it. I could care less if I watch it or not. Yeah.
Oh, guys, that's gonna just about do it, Gogie. Do you have any parting shots for our listening audience, brother?
That's the fights next week. How about any other fights going on, Joe, that I should be aware of that's worth a shit watching? Oh, that Tank Davis, ain't they fighting?
No, that's going to be on Halloween night, brother. That was moved to Halloween. Man, dude, didn't you get the memo, brother?
I don't pay attention.
That fight's going to be now in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. In fact, they just came out with their very first episode of All Access, Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz, and it was quite compelling. We're going to talk more about it on our show on Tuesday night with Mr. Rodney Green.
Hey, Joe.
But it's quite compelling, though. It's very, very good.
It's not compelling enough for me to take $70 fucking out of my pocket to watch that shit, okay?
Oh,
it ain't
my gosh.
that compelling.
Hey, you know what, brother? Do you know how much ringside seats are going for this one? Because, once again, and we lobbied to get credentialed for this, and Kelly Swanson is supposed to be handling the credentials for it. And I shouldn't be name dropping or anything, but let me just say Magnum Media is supposed to be handling credentials for all media. They're not letting anyone cover this fight. Only like AP Newswire type periodicals. But all of the YouTube media, most of the web-based media sources or outlets, they're not being allowed to cover this fight. So I looked into tickets. Some of them ringside are going for $5,000 a piece for Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz.
That's typical Al Heyman bullshit. That's typical Al Heyman bullshit. Oh, that guy's so full of shit, man, and just they're trying to get if you're dumb enough to pay $5,000 for a ticket for that fight, and you know what I mean, you're dumb enough. I'm just saying you're dumb enough to do it then, okay? Oh, Jesus.
So, because I was planning on getting our brother Rodney Green, because he's been doing such a great job on the show and helping out with Fight Saga. So I was going to get us tickets ringside, and I saw that, and I'm like, well, Rodney, it looks like we're going to Buffalo Wild Wings to go watch the pay-per-view this time.
You see what I mean, Joe? You see what I mean, Joe? Instead of making it affordable for the fans to grow the sport, you see what I mean, Joe? You see what I mean, Joe? Instead of making it affordable for the fans to grow the sport, these motherfuckers are trying to bleed every penny out of you. Okay?
Hey,
that just turns fans off. Fuck you, I would have told them. Fuck you.
Hey, Gogie,
you know what I mean?
The cheapest tickets in the Alamo Dome. Now, keep in mind, you've been to the Alamo Dome many times. You've fought there several times. You've had fighters there. You know how massive and cavernous this venue is, right?
Yeah.
You know how high it gets, how high the bleachers are, right? The cheapest seats, nosebleeds, are $150.
So the most expensive ringside is $5,000 and the cheapest is $150. Fuck you, Al. That's what. Fuck you. That's just way of saying, hey, fuck you, fans. So you know what? Fuck you back. Fuck you, man. That's what I mean, Joe. You don't grow the sport by doing something like that to the fans, okay? Not in these tough economic times. Fuck you, man. I don't want, like I said, Joe. I could give a shit. If it ain't free over here, I ain't watching this shit, okay? Fuck them.
Well, before we let you go, brother.
Fuck them and fuck PBC and all the bullshit they do. Fuck them.
Because we've got you on a roll now, brother.
I can say what the fuck I want. I've been doing this. I've been in this game a long time, and I'm still gonna have fighters fight on all these cards. Ain't nothing, you know what I mean, Joe? Because I got fighters, and they're not gonna prevent me doing my fucking thing. Oh, fuck them.
And that's why we love you, James.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, since you're on a roll, we're going to introduce a couple. We're going to talk a little bit more. Guys, we want to thank you so much for hanging with us over time. And, it's now turned into the Gogue Show. So let's keep them going. On October 30th, on DAZN, your favorite defensive fighter is going to be in action in the main event. Jaime Munguia makes his return to the ring against, the journeyman, Toriano Johnson, in your 12-round main event at 160 pounds.
Really? I didn't know that. Really? When are they fighting? The 30th?
October 30th, Friday, the day before Halloween. And, Jaime Munguia. So congratulations, Golden Boy, for getting off the snide and putting together this event. It should be a very entertaining matchup because Toriano, he's not afraid to let his balls hang in the ring.
And Andre Rozier trains him, and he'll be in great shape. So, it'll be a good fight. I bash on that Munguia a lot, but, I got to give him credit. His last fight, he showed more boxing skills than he's ever done in his other fights.
Morales. You're right. You saw some improvement.
Hold it. I don't know how much Eric Morales. He's more like a figurehead. He's got another trainer in there. Eric probably tells him what to do, but let's put the brakes on that a little, okay? Because Eric was a great fighter, but he hasn't proven himself to be a great trainer. Okay. All right. Munguia had the ability to box like that if he was only taught earlier in his career, But he had Robert Alcazar, we'll leave it like that. But anyway, he showed me against Spike. He showed me against Spike O'Sullivan that he started using his footwork. He started using his range and distance more effectively. He started working his jab. Not only one jab, 2, 3, 4 touch jabs in your face. Then he still had that aggressive. He still got that aggressive style of wanting to throw punches. So, but he's doing it with more skill behind his jab. With more patience, more what do you call it, Joe? He's being more calculating in his attack instead of just running in there and throwing punches and get hit back. Everything's off his jab, feints, combinations. Of course, Joe. Once Jaime Munguia, he's going to go back to his old self, putting his combinations together, but he's doing it with more skill, more composure, more poise, and he's thinking a lot better. And his defense, okay, Joe, he's moving his head better. He's actually slipping punches instead of blocking them with his face. He's actually using his footwork, moving in and out of range, circling his opponent. Basic boxing fundamentals. Using his God-given skills, not using his God-given skills, turning his God-given talent into skills he never had before, okay? And like I talked, he's aggressive, Joe. He's still aggressive, but he does it with more skill, tact, and he thinks better in there, and it's more calculating. And he's still, I like him. Again, that was only, he hasn't fought since the Gary O'Sullivan or Spike O'Sullivan.
No, that was in January, and once again, that was at the Alamodome as well. Rodney and I were both covering that fight ringside, and you got to admit he improved now, Joe.
One
thing we did notice as well is how relaxed he stayed in the ring, even when he was getting countered by Spike O'Sullivan. It wasn't like the Jaime Munguia before. He didn't get too excited or too fluttered. He stayed very calm and relaxed. That's right.
He stuck to his game plan.
Stuck to the game plan, that's right. Unlike when he fought
that Japanese guy where he was a fucking punching bag on the ropes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but anyway,
I tell you what,
I want to see that fight, too. That's a good one.
We have 5 minutes left, so I do want to get your take on this. Is really going to affect the performance of the pay-per-view. If you look at Halloween night, Saturday, October 31st, that's going to be a full day of boxing. And I think this could dramatically affect the performance and the earning potential of Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz, because during the day from the UK, you're going to have on DAZN Alexander Usyk versus Derek Chisora in your 12-round main event, and that's going to determine the WBO heavyweight mandatory challenger, right? That's a great fight. And listen to this. Later that evening from the bubble in Vegas, you've got the return of Naoya Inoue. He's going to be taking on the hard-punching Jason Maloney for Inoue's IBF and WBA bantamweight titles.
Now, is this on ESPN or ESPN Plus?
Nope, it's on ESPN, brother.
Oh, fuck that! Fuck Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz. I'm watching these fights.
That's what I'm afraid of, Gogue. I really think it's going to affect not only ticket sales at the actual event, at the site, but it's really going to affect the pay-per-view purchases, I think. Because think about that. If you're getting a great heavyweight fight like Alexander Usyk versus Derek Chisora during the day for your low DAZN subscription rate, and then you're getting Inoue, the return of Inoue versus Maloney for free on ESPN, I think that's going to, appease the appetite for most boxing fans. Do you think they're going to be in the mood to throw down $75 after watching a full day of boxing already?
Nope. Joe, I just know the market right now. It's not a pay-per-view market, okay? It's got to be a special fight in order for fans to come up with that kind of money, So we're in a different economic condition nowadays, man. Come on. Look at all the people without jobs. Look at all the people that are about to lose their homes because they couldn't pay the mortgage for the last few months. Come on, these are boxing fans too. We're talking about. It's different, but them dumb shits at PBC, Mayweather Promotions, they don't understand it. They don't understand that. They think it's business back to normal. It's not. It's a totally different market we're in, man. I'm telling you, man. And they're gonna find out. The Charlos found out. They lost. There was a lot of. They finished the fight in red, meaning they lost a lot of money, and they're gonna have to find out the hard way. You know what I mean? But anyway, I rather watch that Inoue fight. Yeah. Then if the other fights if the other fight's here for free, I'll go back and forth. But if it's not here, fuck that. I'm not gonna pay for it. I'll watch the Inoue fight and the Usyk fight. Yeah. Inoue. Because Inoue is going to give Maloney an ass whooping. Real bad. Real bad.
Oh, Gogue, we're out of time, brother. We're reaching the 90-minute mark, brother. 2 weeks in a row, my friend.
Hey,
so
Joe,
I tell you what, do you have any parting shots for our listening audience, brother?
Yeah, I can tell our viewership is picking up. I don't know, Joe. You know that. You're the engineer. You're the admiral. Our viewership's been picking up. Our fan base.
It has
we
been.
Were off
Thank
the air,
you, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for everybody tuning in. All over the world, England especially, #1 fans, pound for pound in the world, and all over the U.S. I'm in Mexico right now, so if anybody's listening to Mexico or everywhere. Thank everybody for tuning in, and like I said, we've been back, and we're getting that consistency where we're going to grow our fan base like it was back in the days when we were pretty good ratings all the time. I could say I'm not going to pound my chest like fucking Berlanga, but we were doing pretty good back then. All right.
Guys,
I'm a
James
fucking
Gogue.
monster, Joe. I'm a fucking monster. What the fuck is that about? Jesus.
Oh, my goodness, Gogue. Guys, he's James Gogue. You can hear him every single Sunday night right here on War Week Radio. And, guys, if you're tuning into our YouTube page, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. That's going to just about do it, guys. On behalf of Maestro James Gogue, I'm Joseph Herron. You've been listening to War Week Radio. Have a wonderful Sunday evening, everybody.